My career path started off in administration, and over the years, I have transitioned over into marketing. And one of the best things that I've done is to ensure that as I was building this brand, it was something that was authentic to me. It represented my values, and I was easily able to navigate it without feeling that I was doing too much. Whether you're growing up the corporate ladder, you're trying to start your own business, or you have plans to create that in the future, or you want to create a consultancy or whatever it is. If that is your goal and you're fresh into the workplace, or you have been in the workplace and you're thinking, you know what, I think it's time for me to rebrand myself, this video is definitely for you. Welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you've been having a fantastic 2025 so far. And if you haven't, there is still a lot of time left to shift that around. I am a corporate girly, just came from work. This is the outfit for today. We're very neutral today. But I want to talk about how to use your corporate space where you are right now so that you can rebrand yourself for not just success in this year, but as you grow. So the one thing that I did when I started my personal development journey was that I started to identify words that I wanted to be associated with so that I can use those words as my guide as I progressed into the year. Now, for the last 5 years, I would say I have picked a word of the year, and I use that as an anchor to help me navigate what I do. And that is a great way for you to start. But when you're building a personal brand, one of the things that you can do to help you is to identify what is it that you want to be known for. Like, what are some things that you want to be known for, whether it is physically or skill wise, etc. For me, my 3 words are, well, I would say 4 words: reliable, strategic, relatable, and very stylish. I think that using those words help me ensure that whatever I'm creating, whether it's on here or it's on my blog or I'm writing something on LinkedIn, I can ensure that it is coming from who I am, and I'm not trying to put on a front. I'm authentic in that. It comes to me naturally, and it is part of my core value and what I stand for, whether it is online or offline. So you want to pick 3 words that you want to associate yourself with that you can use as your anchor words, so it can help you navigate through the corporate space as you first start in your first job probably, or you are changing career path, or you're growing where you are in the corporate space that you are right now. Find 3 words that you would like to be associated with. And if you find that you have not yet embodied that, then you can work on building those characteristics or growing into those 3 words, and eventually they are going to become part of who you are. One of my words, for example, is stylishness. I was always someone who enjoyed fashion or style, primarily style, not fashion per se, but like putting outfits together, creating a physical or visual personal brand, and ensuring that whatever I create on me or my website, it is visually appealing. And it took a long time for me to figure out what my personal style was. But over the past 3 years, I would say, I have figured that out. And when I dress up, it's expectation that I will look that certain way. It's not a surprising thing. One thing that I did when I started to create content on my blog consistently was that I created a brand book. And a brand book is just basically a guide for not just myself, but also if I were to at some point in my career path, if I decided that, you know what, I want to get like a virtual assistant or something, or I want to hire a graphic designer, content manager for my website, for my blog, I have a brand book that helps me ensure that whether it's myself that is writing or creating that content, or someone else who's creating that content, there is consistency across that. It's not just about just building content, creating content, sharing content so that you can be consistent, but the brand has to be a reflection of you, what you stand for. So my brand book for my website has the keywords that I associate with, the color palettes that I associate with, the type of images that I associate with. I love fancy things. So my content on my website always has this type of images. The way that I speak to my audience as well on my blog and also on YouTube, it has a professionalism in there, but there's a slight playfulness where I feel like I'm speaking to my friend. So I have to ensure that I write that down just in the event that I start to segue. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is not me. Like, where did that come from? I can always go back to that brand book and remind myself, this is what you stand for. This is how you want to show up online. This is your personal brand, and hit the reset button. So you can use that option or that tool to help you do that. And companies do that all the time. There's a branding guideline that most companies use when it comes to when they're hiring people or they're outsourcing. They have a branding guideline so that whether they're doing whatever work in-house or they're doing it outside, that person knows to keep within those branding guidelines. So when you're building your personal brand, that could be a great place for you to start. Actually sit down and create a brand book. It doesn't have to be 10 pages long. It could literally just be like 3 pages long. Your name, what you stand for, your bio, your fonts that you're going to use if you're going to create content, how you want to speak to your audience, whether it is in the office or it is online, images that you want to be associated with your brand, where you want to make sure that you're using that as a guide so that you can always go back to that if at any given point in time you feel like you're segueing. And this is not to say that you will not grow, like your brand is going to evolve. Your brand will evolve over time and there will be things that you have to come back to and refine. But using the brand book as a guide is a great way for you to begin the process as well. So clarity around that and implement that first step, and then you can do the online options, etc. Now, if you're a corporate girl, one of the things that I have always recommended, whether it is persons who are in my current work space or my work company, or those that I know, is to have a visual presence online. And that is a LinkedIn profile. My LinkedIn over the years, I have refined it to reflect my skill set, my history of job employment, what I've done. And over the past year specifically, I have tried to like really refine it to be skill driven or skill outline. So if you have a LinkedIn profile and you want to grow in a career or you want to be known for something. So for me, my career path is marketing. And I have really taken the time out to work on that visual online presence to be, when it's searched for, or if there's a job available or something, I presented that because my brand says I'm associated with that career path. So whatever career path you're pursuing, whether it is in technology or it is in sales or it is in accounting, you want to make sure that you refine your online brand, your LinkedIn profile, because that is where most business persons are going to be hanging out. That is where most corporate persons are going to be creating content or networking. You want to create an online presence there that is a reflection of who you are, what you do, what you stand for, what you want to be known for, or what career path you're growing into. And it's not just the words that you use, but your headline, your profile shot, the skill set that you input in there. And also you could use it as a way to create content. So if you're not someone who wants to create like a blog or YouTube channel, but you have an expertise in the field and you want to be known for that, you could also use LinkedIn as a way to start creating content in the article section and publish that so that it can drive traffic to your profile and it can drive followers to your profile so that you're becoming known around a certain topic. So if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, I highly recommend that you create one today. What you can do is to search on LinkedIn for persons in your industry and look at how they create their profile, like analyze how they present it, the headlines, the type of image that they use, the type of keywords that they use in their experience, the skill set that they use as well. And if you have those skill sets, not just randomly put it in there, you could add them to your profile. Start to create a profile that stands out for what you want to be known for. And if you're just starting off in the corporate space, it's a great way for you to begin so that you can grow into that. And if you're not employed, you could use your skill set as a portfolio. Like, what have you done in the past? If you have been in the industry, in the corporate industry, what have you done in the past in that area that you want to grow into? And if you're fresh out of work, what have you done in your schooling that has helped you build that? So use that as leverage so that you can start to position yourself as a way to attract the right audience or attract the right network, companies, recruiters, whatever it is, to your profile so that you can start to build your personal brand on there. And if you're creating content, whether it's on YouTube or blog or LinkedIn, etc., you can use AI tools to help you start to develop those content ideas so that you can start to get more confident in writing and creating content, and whether it's video, podcast, written, start to use AI tools to help you create a guide for that. and not just AI tools like ChatGPT, but also like Canva. So images that you use, start to create those images that is consistent with the brand that you're trying to present, and leverage that, because you have access to the tools, but you want to make sure that you're starting to use them to your advantage, that you can present a personal brand. And the personal brand also, just as you're creating like a physical brand, like a website or a product, what are the characteristics of that product, of that website, the type of fonts that you use, the branding palette, the messaging or the wording and the tone that you use when you're selling that or when you're speaking. You want to make sure that it's consistent and it's authentic to you, but you could use AI tools like Grammarly or ChatGPT or Canva that is going to help you reflect that. Next step is to network authentically. I think I've spoken about that in other videos, but networking is one of the things that in my country it is a little bit challenging because there are very limited like networking events. But if you're in a space like a bigger city and you have networking events where you have like technology events or marketing events or accounting events, you can go to that. I know that they probably will not have marketing forums in my country, but I have researched marketing forums around the world, what's virtual, what's in person, and pick and choose what would I like to attend. And I have done that in the past 3 years. So there is a digital marketing forum that happens every year in multiple locations like London, New York, Silicon Valley, etc. So I have joined those networking events, meet people from there, and build that network from there. But if you're in a location where you can actually physically attend those events, that would be a great investment in your personal brand, because you're not just meeting people, but you're building your network, you're building your net worth, you're building your group, you're building people or a group of people that you can, reach out to and say, hey, we met at this projects, we shared this, etc. And I would like to chat or meet up for coffee or something if you're in the same location. So start to build your network, but do it in a way where you're not trying to like grab something from the other person, but you're building it with an intention where there's a mutual benefit for both parties and it's authentic. It's not just trying to build a list of people, but you also want to make sure that you're also giving back to that person in that network. How are you bringing value to them? And how are they bringing value to you? Not just a random list of people where you just have a large group, but it's actually of value, it's beneficial to both persons, and it's not just like a surface layer networking thing. So whether you're in like technology, marketing, insurance, whatever it is, if they do not have like physical forums in your location, go online, go on LinkedIn, Google marketing forums across the world. I'm using marketing because that's my industry, that's my career path. Marketing forums around the world, and I am part of a institute. I am a chartered marketer, and one of the things that I really love about that is that every month there is a membership exclusive webinar where there's someone in the industry who would have a webinar on a certain topic, whether it's social media or AI tools or trends that are happening or strategy or business development, etc. And what I like to do is that I always tend to reach out to that person. If I enjoyed the presentation, I will go on LinkedIn, and I used to be shy about that before, like connecting with people randomly unless I knew you, or reaching out and having that very interesting introduction. When you connect with them, I would be a little bit like, oh, they'll be like, who's this person? Why is she connecting with me? But I realized that that's what LinkedIn is all about. It's a networking platform. It's for corporate people to meet and to greet and to build with each other. And I would actually go on LinkedIn right now, after the event, I would connect with the person and I would say, hey, I enjoyed the presentation that you did with the CIM. I really enjoyed that. Do you have more resources or website or something of the sort? And usually they will provide like extra resources that you can reach out to those people on that webinar. And it's like an open invitation to, hey, come network with me. So I have now embraced that. So if you want to build your network as well online, that could be a great way, a great option. If you're someone who's not really like a social butterfly, or you'd go to an event and you'd be in the corner or wallflower, do the online version. Use LinkedIn for that. Reach out to people who are in your industry. Look at their profiles, look at what they've shared, look at what content they create, and engage with that. And just reach out to them and let them know that you enjoy that and you would like to chat, you'd like to have a conversation over call. And trust me, it's surprising how many persons will say, why not? Sure, I'm available on that day. So build your network in a way that is authentic, that is not just in your industry. Like whether you are in marketing, you also want to branch out to other industries as well. So consultancy, I like consultancy, technology, etc. So you branch out to these type of industries as well, or industries that are kind of complementary to whatever industry that you're in and you're interested in as well, so that you can begin to get a little bit more of a wider net, or cast a wider net, to open up more networking opportunities to yourself. So whether you're in just one industry, if there's a forum on a totally different subject that you're like, oh, that looks good, I want to join that, I would love to join that, you could register for that. And sometimes it might feel like the initial investment might be a little bit like, this is too much, but you don't have to do 2 or 3 every year. Just find one online and join that, or join live events online on LinkedIn as well, and reach out to people in the comment section, engage with them on there. And that's going to help you begin to build that confidence that you need to show up publicly and to build your personal brand publicly. The last 2 ways that I think are very important ways to build your personal brand, especially this year as technology is changing, is to, number one, be open to continuous learning. I started to read a report by, I believe it was from World Economic Forum, on jobs that are changing by the next 3 years, they're about, or 2030, they're about. And they would basically list in different industries and different jobs that are going to be obsolete or they're phasing out, and jobs that are coming in. And that was a very huge eye-opener, because sometimes you might want to invest in something where you think that it might be beneficial to you right now, but if you're not open to like reading and trying to get more information of what's happening in the corporate space, especially as technology is like rapidly evolving, what you might find yourself doing is keeping yourself behind in that bubble or in that box. So when you're building your personal brand, have an open, and this is one of the biggest things that I think I have leveraged a lot over the last 10 years, be open to continuous learning. If you don't know something, ask a question, ask somebody, research it. If you don't know what's happening and you're like, I wonder what's going to happen in my industry in the next 5 years, research it. Find groups or people or websites or pages that continuously share content of what's happening, not just in your industry, but in the global industry. And one of the great places that I do find that always shares a lot of reports, and I really like to read them, I like to go through them on like a weekend. Ernst & Young has a weekend read. I really love that, every Friday. And that's how I know, oh, it's Friday. Every Friday. And it's a routine that I'm already kind of accustomed to. And I know that it is their brand, even though I don't see the company, but I know that it is what they do. Every Friday, they publish on LinkedIn 5 articles for the weekend to read, or 5 must-reads for the weekend. And these articles just tells you what's happening in the business industry, or the business world for that matter, in economics, in AI, in technology, in marketing, in employment, in HR, etc. And it's a great way for you to learn what's happening beyond your shores. Now, I am in a very small Caribbean island, and it can be a little bit, the news can be a little bit like, political, for lack of a better term. And if I want to know what's happening beyond my shores, I have to read content from other sources that are not within here, because it's so restricted, it's so closed up here, that information that you need to know, it's not really being shared as it should. So I follow pages like World Economic Forum, McKinsey, Gartner, Hayes, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, those consultancy companies, and you're always doing a live event on something. You're always sharing what's happening right now. You're always sharing a report. So find content that is going to help you learn about what's happening in the industry, so that you can adapt yourself. You can grow. You will not be left behind, but you can adapt yourself. You can grow, and if something changes, you're easily able to, switch up. A great way for you to build your personal brand. It's a great way for you to build your career path as well. And it's a great way for you to network with people, because when you read those articles, or you read those forums, or you read those publications on LinkedIn is my go-to for articles, so they know that these companies, they are sharing on there consistently. When you're sharing on there, there are other people who are also engaging on there that you probably will never have crossed paths with unless you were engaging with those companies. And it's not just the reading for content absorption, but also learn on skill building. What are some skills that you need to work on that is going to help you in 10 years? That is necessary for you in the next 3 years? What are some skills? Right now, AI is one of the most talked about skill or tool. How are you building that? Like, how are you learning about that? How are you allowing yourself to upskill in that area? How are you learning to do prompts about it? Are you learning to do like proper prompt requests? Because it's such a very sensitive area because of all the plagiarisms. There are now laws and guidelines on how to use it, etc., especially if you're in school. So, but how are you upskilling in that? As a marketer, how am I upskilling in that? Trends that are happening, things that are changing, because marketing is a fast evolving industry. What used to work yesterday is not what's going to work today. Look at how TikTok was banned temporarily for one day, but that's just a lesson to tell you, well, if that happened and a new government came in and it was, reinstated, what's going to happen in 4 years? I'm not sure. Is this going to be a repeat cycle? And if it is, what do I need to do right now to ensure that I protect myself? Not just myself, but like my skill set. So if for persons, for example, who have used TikTok for building a brand, how do I need to change that or switch that around? What are the platforms out there? And do I now need to make sure that I learn how to use all these other platforms, or create some presence on there, or create some domain, like a website on there, a website with my information that I own? How are you ensuring that you're learning so that you can grow, so that you can ensure that you're not left behind? So you want to make sure that there's that consistent learning when it comes to your career, life, technology, the industry, the corporate space, what's happening. Be open to that. Skill building, be open to that, because that is probably going to be one of the most important things that's going to help you or ensure that you actually progress. If you stay in the same mindset, the same attitude, the same way of doing things, you probably will not be able to progress. You probably will not be able to grow, and not just grow on a corporate scale, like a corporate ladder scale, but like grow in another industry. If I do not want to stay in marketing forever, how am I going to ensure that I segue into another industry? My career path is marketing, but my job is not marketing specific. I can use what I learn in that, but if there are other skills that I've learned around supply chain, who knew that I would be in this industry? I didn't know that. But because I'm open to learning, I'm easier able to adapt. So you want to make sure that you have an open mindset, and that right there is going to be the one thing, or one of the most important things, that's going to help you ensure that you continuously transform your brand. And the last thing is to showcase your wins. I used to be afraid to celebrate my wins because I'm like, it's too small. But then my friends started to tell me, no, you need to celebrate that. We need to go have a glass of wine or something. So learn to celebrate your small wins, your big wins. And I actually listened to something, I believe it was yesterday morning. I think it was either Jim Rohn or something, where he was saying that if you cannot celebrate your small wins, how will you be able to celebrate the big ones? If you don't feel comfortable in celebrating the small things that are happening for you, how will you be able to celebrate the big ones? How will you get the confidence to celebrate the big ones? So celebrate your small wins. It's not about bragging that, hey, I achieved this diploma, or I have this new role, or I upskilled this, whatever. It's about you just like reminding yourself that, yes, you did this, you showed up and you did this, and you're growing, and you're refreshing your brand. You're refining your brand as a corporate person, as a person as a whole. And that's a really, really great way for you to consistently show up for yourself. So that's it for this quick video. I hope you got some really nice wisdom nuggets in there. If you did, let me know, because I do want to add a little bit more career related topics on here. a lot around personal branding. And if you do want to see more content like this, definitely let me know in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up so that the algorithm says, hey, this is cool content, let's share it. Before I leave, I actually have a freebie for you guys. If you want to reset your brand for 2025, I have a freebie. Go to the URL in the description box. It's called the Success Mastery Workbook. It is a workbook where I basically talk about how to set your goals, your mindset, and also style, because that's my thing, and how to basically refine that so that you have a playbook or a guide to navigate through as you progress into 2025. So hit the description box, click show more, and click the link and go ahead and download that. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. Bye. And PS, if you're on LinkedIn and you want to connect with me, it's all good. I'm open. Same name. Bye bye.